Hi, and welcome to the fourth Muse on the Introvert Biz Growth podcast, the show where I talk to introverts who grow their business and make a difference. I'm Sarah Santacroce. I'm your host. I'm the host of this podcast. And if you're new here, then I want you to know that this is not the usual format of my regular episodes. I post a new show every other Friday. And it's always a conversation with a fellow introverted entrepreneur who uses his or her introverted superpowers to make a difference. These shows are edited by Tim, my professional podcast editor, who also creates amazing show notes pages. But today's episode is a muse, which means unedited, raw content. No intro music, no bells and whistles. I share these muses to make you think, to inspire you, to break the rules, and to eventually also invite you to the gentle business revolution when it's ready. Today's muse is again composed of two parts. First, I muse by myself about chameleons. Yes, you heard that right. And then I'll also share a quick conversation I had with Brenda Knowles, another previous podcast guest and fellow introvert and friend of mine, about the topic of marketing with integrity. So let's talk about chameleons. I've been marketing my business wearing a chameleon suit for many years. Picture a Halloween onesie. It's just has been Halloween this week, so it's probably easy to picture that Halloween onesie. And I'm actually ready to bet that you are sometimes wearing it too. That suit gives you comfort because it's fitting for any kind of situation, any kind of client. And with that suit on, you are so adaptable. You blend in and blindly follow advice of all the big marketing gurus out there. You try a little bit of everything. They tell you to sell on webinars, then that's what you'll try doing. They tell you that they made millions on their latest launch, so you buy their launch system. They tell you to send out 3 emails per week, so you think you should do that too. They tell you that videos is the future, so even though just a thought of being in front of a camera makes your hands sweat, you assume that's what you'll have to do. They tell you they made millions. Different gurus, same message. They made millions with Facebook ads, so you start looking into Facebook ads. They tell you to scale, to hustle, to go big or go home. And the only thing that keeps you going is your chameleon onesie. Because without it, you're completely lost. Without it, you actually feel a deep existential anxiety. A feeling that gives you hot flashes, knots in your stomach, and keeps you up at night. You can't stop thinking, I'm not made for business. I'm not like them. I'm probably not good enough. Does that sound familiar? Because I've been wearing the chameleon onesie myself for many years, doing all of the above. And I noticed that every introvert I talk to has done the same and lost track of their true, authentic self now and then, and put on the chameleon suit to blend in. But I've come to realize that there is another way. There is a way to market your business with integrity and be true to yourself. And I really cannot wait to celebrate the day with you when you drop this weight that has been keeping you small for such a long time. That is my muse about chameleons. And now, without further ado, here is my conversation with Brenda Knowles about the topic marketing with integrity and what that means to her. And she actually brings up this chameleon topic as well. Here it is. Hi, Brenda. It's so nice to talk to you again after all these months that went by since our last conversation here on the podcast.
Yes, Sarah. Thanks for contacting me. It's good to connect again.
Yeah, sometimes we don't do that often enough as introverts. I noticed as well. Like, I'm doing this podcast to build relationships with others, with other introverts. But after the interview, it's like, oh yeah, that's done. But what I actually want is, keep in touch. And so I thought that was a great excuse to contact you again.
Right. No, perfect.
So, yeah. So as I mentioned, I'm recording these short Muse episodes, and the topic really is, marketing with integrity. What does that mean to you? How do you live and apply that in your own business?
Right. Yep. Good topic. And yeah.
Why don't you give it a shot? Like, what does it mean to you, integrity?
Integrity means to me remaining true to your own voice, I guess, like not sort of getting lost in the mass message. I read an email recently from from a blogger. His name is Paul Jarvis, and he was talking about how when he initially started writing as a blogger, it was for a specific audience, and he was using his own voice, writing about what he wanted to write about, what was important to him and what mattered to him, and therefore it was attracting or drawing in the people that had the same values, the same things they thought of as important. And he said he kind of got lost after a few years and sort of striking out and hoping to have something go viral or just keeping, growing and his audience growing and growing. And he kept focusing on numbers rather than the message. And I guess that really resonated with me, because when I started almost 8 years ago writing online, the same thing. I sort of had things I wanted to say and then a certain audience. And that was good. I mean, I loved that. I loved connecting with people, other introverts, highly sensitive people who were working on their relationships that kind of needed the same message, the same new ideas. They wanted information just like I did. And so it was perfect. But then I started working with a publisher, working with a publicist, and they were saying, write posts that have lists in them, have a catchy title that get people to your website. And I love all that. And I still like that because I think it's a challenge and I do want to write concisely. But I realized it's just not me totally. Mm-hmm. And I recently did an online course with, it wasn't my project, it was somebody else's, and I got asked to be a guest speaker. And the person who was hosting it ended up asking me for 3 different emails, to send 3 different emails to my audience promoting this online series. I did it a couple times, but by the 3rd time, I just said no, because I did not think my audience would appreciate that. I just didn't want to promote and be in their face. I believe it was an important series, and that's why I was in it in the first place, and that's why I promoted it a couple of times through emails. It was on social media. Social media, I'm a little more, if you want to read my stuff on social media, okay, there might be some promotion in there. But personal emails, from me to my audience, I'm just very protective of that audience because they are introverts. They are highly sensitive people. They're like me. They don't like a lot of buzz and extra just, things in their inbox. Plus, I don't know. So I guess I'm working on continuing my voice, staying specific, I have, a range of topics within, I write for, the highly sensitive and for introverts, for people struggling in relationships. Those are my areas of expertise. Anxiety, I like to cover that, anxiety and depression, which kind of often commingles with relationship struggles. So that's my focus. I don't need to write to everyone in the world, because then I'm sort of writing to no one. Mm-hmm. So it's my marketing integrity.
Yeah, no, I totally get it. And I think you're right. Sometimes we lose track, we lose our authenticity. We put on this mask, or the way I like to call it is this chameleon suit, kind of this, onesie, like it's almost Halloween. So it's like this, disguisement that then kind of makes you blend in, and you're doing what everybody else is doing because they're all telling you this is what you're supposed to do. And then you're like, why did I just do that? And we've all done it, right? I'm definitely raising my hand here as well. It's like, yeah, I've done that, and then I regretted it because it just doesn't feel as good. If the content is really relevant, sorry.
I said it's kind of exhausting too.
It is exhausting. It is. Yeah.
Yourself out there, sort of, like I said, for the masses, when it doesn't feel very true, or it just feels kind of too broad or whatever.
Yeah.
Fill you up,
so you talked about other people's promotions, but what about your own marketing? Is it enough just to write for your business, like the blog posts? Are those enough to bring in business, or how do you then go about your marketing approach in promotion?
Well, I could always use more business. I will not deny that. Yeah, but what I've found is sort of come up organically is I do my own blog posts and I rerun them throughout the week, different old ones. I get asked quite often to speak on other people's podcasts and things, and that sort of is promotion without me setting it up, and that has been a pretty good channel for me to use. And it's, I guess it takes a little pressure off me, but also gets me out there. So that, and I do still, have ads for my book on my website. I do try to stay, in front of my audience's eyes. I have backed off a little bit on social media, but I'm thinking I may get back into that. I'm working on new projects, so once those get a little bit further down the to the finish line, and then I may amp up my promotion a little bit more, like my own personal promotion, maybe do some videos. Just get out there and be a little bit more prominent via social media. That's my idea at this time.
Right. Yeah, I think it is such a fine line between finding a way as an introvert to promote your own business, because let's face it, we do have a voice and we want to have that voice heard. And at the same time, feeling in integrity and not, feeling almost like dirty, always tooting our own horn. Me, I'm
annoying.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm currently running the LinkedIn challenge for my LinkedIn business. And that is like, 2 weeks of just promotion. And I know I have to do it because this is what I do, right? But yeah, I come out of it so exhausted and just like, oh my God, thank God it's over. And God, I don't have to promote anymore.
It sounds like a marathon. Yeah, like you just go really hard and then you're done, and I get that, because to do that constantly would be exhausting. I should say I also hired a PR person last summer. So she's taken some of the weight off of me too, she and her company, so they will get me in different online publications and things too. So I guess maybe my introvert way is to just sort of let other people
delegate. Yes.
Yeah, I know. And it works for me. Like I said, I could still use more business, so I'm going to have to reach out more myself. I know that, but I do have a good base, I guess, of other people helping me.
Yeah, no, I think that's a great way, I guess, to come to an end of our conversation, is to actually just say, okay, if I don't want to do it, let's just find somebody to do it for me. Because there's introverts who can't even think about posting a picture of themselves on Facebook or LinkedIn or something like that. So hire somebody and have that person do it for you. That'll be definitely a big weight off your shoulders and just
Right.
kind of a relief. Yeah.
I mean, obviously it costs money to do that. So
Yes, it's an investment.
But and I didn't do that for years, but I finally said, okay, I'm going to try it.
Yeah.
And it has, like I said, just got my name out there into different publications and things, which has been good. So
yeah.
right.
I don't think it needs to cost a whole lot, because you can just start with the virtual assistant for 2 hours per month, and already that will get you started for, I don't know, it's probably $30 per hour, and so you cost you $60 per month, and that's already a good start. So I definitely recommend that to people in the audience.
I like that plan too. Maybe that'll be my next.
That's your next plan.
Good idea.
Yeah. Great. Well, thanks so much, Brenda, for just hopping on quickly on Zoom and talking about marketing for integrity. Just maybe one final word about integrity. When I had that title or mentioned that title to extroverts, they were almost shocked that I would use that word integrity. They were thinking, you're telling me that I'm not working out of integrity, that
to get defensive.
Yeah, they got defensive. And I found it so interesting, because when I mention it to introverts, they're like, yeah, that's it. That's exactly it. Does that resonate with you?
That's interesting. Yeah, I think introverts naturally kind of go to that internal place first, where I think a lot of us think integrity.
It's a word that we love, right?
Yeah,
It's
a word we really live by or
to
maintain. So and it seems like it kind of an internal practice.
Right.
So maybe it's natural for us, or and the others are like, wait,
you're preaching. You're telling me I'm not doing it.
Like, no.
Yeah. Well, thanks so much, Brenda, for taking the time. And it's good to connect again. And we'll do that again, even if it's not for podcast recording.
Okay, that sounds good. Thanks.
Take care. Thank you. Bye. Thanks so much for listening to this muse about chameleons and blending in and integrity and all of that. Don't forget, you can reach out to me at sarah@sarahsantacroce.com and let me know what you think about these Muse episodes, if I should keep doing them, or if you're like, that sounds too amateur-like, because, we like the fancy bells and whistles, intro and outro things. Let me know. I'm just doing my own thing here, taking off the chameleon suit and going against the grain, because sometimes, hosting these podcasts is a lot of work. It's a lot of commitment, investment, and this Muse episode is totally easy for me to create. I record the episode and then just update it myself, and don't have to create a nice show notes page. And so I want to just see how the community responds to that. So do let me know. And of course, next week you'll get another great episode with a guest. So tune in again then. Thank you so much and have a great week. Take care.